Hey guys, Cubmaster being here today. So today we're going to talk a little bit about animal conservation. We're going to kind of touch on water conservation, but we're going to talk about fish and water-based animals and water-based life, and shoot mainly to our bears and a requirement that our bears have. And bears go fishing with identifying 2 local fish in their area. Stay tuned. Hey guys, Cubmaster Ben here to talk about animal conservation. We're going to talk a little bit about water conservation and nature. You're going to hear a little bit about bringing in our leave no trace principles, and then this is also going to help the bears in the Oklahoma area. So we're going to talk about 2 types of fish, and that'll be a requirement of yours for a bear goes fishing belt loop. So let's get started. All right, so we went and spent a couple hours at our local aquarium in Medicine Park, Oklahoma today. Really awesome place. You get to see all kinds of local fish from the state, from all the way from the east to the west side of the state. And you also get to find out there's things like eels in Oklahoma. And then they also don't just talk about fish, they talk about the little creepy crawlies. They have a great exhibit of black widow spider, a brown recluse spider. They've got some huge bugs in there. They just look great, and I've got some pictures of those for you guys there at the end, as well as about a 7 or 8 foot boa constrictor, as well as some river otters. We got to see them feed the river otters some shrimp. That was really cool. So let's get talking about our animal conservation and why that was so awesome. So one of the things we learned today is there's about 175 different species of fish just in the state of Oklahoma. And I was like, well, that seems like a lot, but really when you think about it worldwide, there's about 28,000 different species of fish in the water, and about 20,000 of those are found somewhere in the ocean. So you're like, well, that other 8,000 we see in creeks, rivers, ponds, lakes, that sort of thing, what's important about those? Well, the big thing that's important about those, Scouts, is that there's actually 2 kinds of fish you're going to find out in the wild. You're going to find your regular, locally wild fish, so the fish that were born and raised in those local rivers, ponds, and lakes, right? And then you're going to find farm-raised or hatchery fish, okay? These are fish that were born inside of a facility that we've studied, we raised up to a certain size, and then they were released into the wild. And this does a couple things. One, this lets scientists and biologists study the fish life cycle and lets us see kind of how fish react when they're young, so that we can give more information to young fishers, maybe you guys, or just the people who enjoy fishing, right? The other thing that this does is it allows us to help prevent extinction of a certain fish type. So rather than a fish maybe we haven't seen in 2 or 3 years, or we've seen their numbers going down for whatever reason, now they can catch some, have them reproduce, and raise them on the farm, and then they go ahead and they put them back in the water and start producing those numbers and getting them back up. All right, and for us here, we'll see them, especially with our catfish population, we see that our local wild catfish, our channel cats, are normally a blue or a brighter green color in the spring, and in the farm-raised catfish, they come in and they have a white belly with a black upper body and a black tail, right? So they're very distinct, very different. So that's how we see the difference in our fish here. Again, that's not everywhere, that's just here. So why is this so important? Well, animal conservation, guys, and leave no trace go hand in hand. If you're not picking up your trash, if you're not cleaning up your campsites or cleaning up the messes around you, then that's going to hurt not only the animal population, but it's also going to inflict damage on the water population. Our underwater friends are just as important as the animals we see every day, the squirrels, the rabbits, the birds, right? Some birds need fish to eat and to survive, and so they need to be able to eat while they're in the water, and that comes from us helping clean up trash. Alright guys, so water conservation, make sure that you're doing your part to not waste water, make sure that we're cleaning up after ourselves again, right? And you can even have a fish tank at home like this. This is animal conservation, because our kids and us get to learn about fish, we get to take care of fish, right? And we get to enjoy them as pets, and they're a wonderful addition in our house. All right, so my bears in Oklahoma, and really any bear scout anywhere, there's a fish you might have caught, you may not have caught, you may have seen or heard about, and that's bass. And there's 2 specific kind of bass we're going to talk about. That's largemouth and smallmouth bass. So it's an interesting fact. I actually learned today how to actually identify the difference. So our smallmouth bass, you've got the eyes of the mouth, or the eyes of the bass, excuse me, and then if their mouth or their jawline is in line with or in front of their eyes, it's a smallmouth bass, whereas with our largemouth bass, that jawline is behind the edge of the eye or back. So we also found out today that the state record in Oklahoma for smallmouth bass is just over 8 pounds, and the state record for largemouth bass, as recorded at that aquarium today, was about, I think it said 18 or 20 pounds. So to me, that's a pretty big fish. I think the biggest fish I've ever caught was 5 pounds. So, yeah. But that's a story for another time. Oh no, Miss Liddy just reminded me. That's right. We once went shark fishing with some friends and caught a shark. But that is a story for a complete. So hey guys, remember, take care of your fish. If you have pet fish like we do, remember to take care of water and animal conservation. Recycle your water when you can. Keep your waterways clean. We're gonna fill their tank up here so they keep it nice and healthy. Plus, this puts lots of oxygen back in the tank. We'll see you guys after.